Welcome to QLM Business News. And now for today's news stories. Government to implement stricter £2 limits on online slot machines in the UK. In a significant move to address concerns surrounding gambling addiction and safeguarding younger players, the UK government is poised to introduce new restrictions on online slot machines. The forthcoming regulations, expected to be officially announced this Friday, set to impose stringent limits, potentially as low as £2 per spin. Reports suggest that under the new regulations, players under the age of 25 will face a maximum stake limit of £2 per spin, akin to the restrictions imposed on fixed odds betting terminals, FOBTs, back in 2019. Meanwhile, those above the age of the 25th of May have a slightly higher limit of £5 per spin. The decision comes after extensive consultations by the Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport, DCMS, following the publication of a white paper on gambling reform last year. The proposed limits are part of the government's broader efforts to mitigate the risks associated with online gambling, particularly concerning the prevalence of addiction among players. Online slot machines have long been a focal point of the gambling industry, generating over £3 billion in annual revenues and carrying a higher rate of addiction compared to other forms of gambling. While some operators have voluntarily imposed limits on stakes, there is currently no universal restriction on the amount that players can wager. The impending regulations are expected to have significant financial implications for the gambling industry, potentially costing operators hundreds of millions of pounds in revenues. The government had initially considered a range of stake limits between £2 and £15 during consultations, estimating that setting the limit at £8.50 could cost the industry up to £185 million. However, the decision to adopt a lower limit of £5, or £2 for younger players, is likely to escalate these costs even further. While the move has been welcomed by campaigners advocating for stricter gambling regulations, some argue that the proposed limits do not go far enough in addressing the underlying issues. Labour MP Carolyn Harris, who chairs a cross-party group examining gambling-related harm, expressed her concerns, stating that evidence suggests a £2 limit should apply universally to prevent harm. Despite the criticisms, the government's decision underscores a concerted effort to strike a balance between consumer protection and industry viability in the rapidly evolving landscape of online gambling regulation. As the details of the new restrictions are set to be unveiled, stakeholders across the gambling sector await further clarity on the implementation timeline and its broader implications for the industry and players alike. Unlock unparalleled business growth and effortlessly attract a stream of new customers through QLM Business News sponsored advertising. Elevate your brand's presence and captivate your target audience with precision. Visit QLMbusinessnews.com and click on Advertise to harness the power of strategic advertising. Don't miss this unparalleled opportunity to propel your business to new heights of success. This news story is brought to you by QLM Business News, your digital media channel. Visit QLMbusinessnews.com for more business news stories. Also follow us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. To help QLM Business News bring you more news stories like this, please like, share and subscribe.